Lugupeetud rektorid,
Dear rectors, the council, the university board, deans, guests, guests of honor, academic family and alumni, students and dear guests. Welcome to the 105th anniversary graduation ceremony of Tallinn University of Technology. Please bring in the flags.
Palume aktuse avamiseks lavale
I would like to give the floor to the Rector, Professor Tiit, to open the ceremony.
Lugupeetud rektorid,
Honorable Rectors, Honorable Rectors Emerita, Professors, dear colleagues, students, dear guests. It is a day to celebrate, yet we must consider several important topics and questions. More than ever before, Estonian universities are facing the topic of responsibility, both in regards future students and the society. It is no longer enough for high-quality university education to have lecturers and researchers sharing and relaying their knowledge. We must influence the future in such a way that it brings us a lot of highly motivated and prepared students. The Tallinn University of Technology has been a temple of good education for 105 years. We were founded on the 17th of September 1918, but we have never had the problem that we have before, that we do not have enough students. Now the moment has arrived, and for a strange reason, because Estonia does not have enough young people who are good enough at mathematics. Or, to put it a different way, a lot of Estonian secondary school students choose narrow mathematics and therefore cuts off their possibility of studying a lot of different subjects, especially those that are geared towards a more sustainable, cleaner and better world. It seems that universities cannot take responsibility for the choices that young people make, but universities must take responsibility and they must dedicate energy and skills to do it. It's easy to say that we should stop dividing mathematics to narrow and extended mathematics, but that is dealing with the symptom. It's more important to raise children's interest for mathematics and for sciences in general, to show the future possibilities that these offer, to improve the preparation of teachers and to find ways of teaching at schools ourselves. A future student's journey starts from year one, but we cannot expect a child to know on the first day of school what subjects interests them, or whether they want to get a PhD degree one day. However, they must have the certainty that they will have this possibility. They will be encouraged and motivated. They will be shown where their journey can lead and how they can get there. Tallinn University of Technology has various plans about how to increase Estonian young people's interests for mathematics. For that, we must take responsibility, and now is the best time at the beginning of a new academic year. It is also important to take responsibility to send a message to the society where there is less and less taking of responsibility. Universities cannot take responsibility for others, but we must stand strong for Estonia's development. We have talked a lot about academic freedom and even abused this term, but we have forgotten its other side, academic responsibilities, as well as honor and nobility, which must lead and guide all of our activities and be their foundation. We expect the same from our partners, especially from the state of Estonia. The mission and the responsibility of Tallinn University of Technology is to ensure innovation that is based on science in order to allow Estonia to develop in different important sectors. We are doing what President Alar Karis has also emphasized. We are training smart people, but we can only do it if the state answers with the same, by ensuring sufficient funding of higher education and making sure that it's possible to rely on agreements. the responsibility of the state is to develop an education system that responds to our tomorrow's needs. By saying that, I must say that it's time to review the question of narrow and extended mathematics. Preparation for mathematics exams must not stop ambitious and able young people to reach technical topics. I would say that we should not stop dividing mathematics to narrow and extended, but instead we should raise the overall quality of teaching of mathematics. Young people are our future, but we cannot expect them to be solely responsible for themselves and for the future of the country. It is our shared responsibility. The state has the responsibility of ensuring a functioning and up-to-date education system. The school is responsible for ensuring high-quality learning and encouraging learning environment. The teacher is responsible for creating interest for science subjects, not putting it out. Parents need to give children the belief in themselves. We are supporting these aims with optional subjects. Tallinn University of Technology offers 55 subjects this year, which is much more than the last year, and we have more and more optional subjects. We are preparing secondary school students for higher education. We offer free courses to do so, and we are striving for students to be able to work in jobs that are meaningful after they graduate. Representatives of the university also visit different schools as well as kindergartens, starting from a very early age, in order to give children dreams to strive for. This year, we joined forces with Taavi Kotka's movement Unicorn Squad. We are working together in order to add another 1,000 secondary school age girls to the existing 8 to 14-year-old girls, who we have 2,000 who are working in, who are studying in technical robotics and science courses. We have started the Natural Science Popularizing Program TULP, and we are about to start the Engineering Academy. As you can see, we are contributing more to future choices, and through that, supporting the creation of more responsibility and a less consumption-centered, sustainable world. Tallinn University of Technology Green Strategy until 2035 bears in mind all of these goals mentioned. Dear guests, universities are responsible for saying clearly what they have achieved and what is there still to achieve. We are responsible for also sharing what we have accomplished. Researchers are also responsible for stopping misinformation spreading in the society. It is sad to see that researchers must often be scared of negative comments. Every comment given to media is receives 10 responses which try to justify the distribution of misinformation. It is also true that there are some scientists who claim something that has not been fully proved, and this causes movements such as the anti-vax movement, where one scientist's conviction of poor science that vaccines cause autism has led to a situation where we have the anti-vaccine movement. researchers are also responsible for changing their views if necessary. Science is responsible for keeping up to date with the latest available information. Even if truth sometimes hurts or is sometimes unbeneficial financially, researchers must remain honest. It is wrong of researchers to mislead the society. A good example here is greenwashing. To claim that one technology is green in a situation where its footprint is simply on the other side of the earth is wrong and irresponsible. But what am I responsible for as rector of this university? I am responsible for speaking honestly and openly about problems, not fall into comfort zone and never to set myself above anyone else at the university. Our values are maintained by people. We must believe in them and invest more and more in them. But of course, I'm also responsible for making sure that this 105-year-old University of Technology moves toward the future through shaping young people's sustainable way of thinking and through cooperation with companies. My responsibility is to make sure that Estonian higher education is available and works well. I'm striving to bring more societal processes at the center of the work of the university. And this is to ensure that we are one of the engines of Estonian economy. We must serve the society. Factually, education and research have a cross-border nature. Therefore, we can affect processes which are much bigger than ourselves. We have worked hard towards making Tallinn University of Technology visible and a good partner internationally in different networks. With partner universities, we have offered our students the possibility of having exchanges in different top universities of Europe. We belong into the European Technology Universities Network, Eurotech. We must think globally and act locally. This way, everyone wins, we first and foremost. For the next 2 years, our own research member of the Academy of Sciences, Maria Kruusmaa, will be president of the Nordic Technical Universities Network, NOTEC. I have also invited here my colleague Romualdas Kliukas from the Vilnius University of Technology. Welcome, Šveikas Atvikas. Dear colleagues, Honorable Emerita, I would like to finish my speech with a call for action. University starts from people and every change starts from us. So responsibility is a personal choice. We are all responsible for our words, our actions and decisions. Let's do them so that my best is also your best. For you to give your best, I must give my best first. Nobody else can do it for me. Let's bear the responsibility before ourselves, the family of the university, Estonian young people and the society. Long live Tallinn University of Technology. Mente et Manu.
Aitäh, rektor Tiit Land.
Anname
virtuaalselt sõna Eesti Vabariigi presidendile Alar Karisele.
To Estonian President, Mr. Alar Karis.
Hea Tehnikaülikooli pere.
Dear family of the University of Technology, 105 years ago, a group of Estonian researchers started to offer technical courses. This was a moment when Estonian state was only born, but had not even lived for one day. Even during the first semester, studies stopped because of the independence war. However, the founders had a strong belief that Estonia needed a high-level technical institution. This allowed these courses to grow into a technical college at first and later into a university. The graduates of this institution soon were able to start their actions in a free country, a country that needed roads, bridges and buildings. The first rector of the university, Herman Reier, wrote in 1920, "Technical education is like a lifeline through which Estonia's industrial and academic life will flow." This continues up to today. The only difference being that the ambition of our people and our state have grown. In order to keep everything working well, we have also wanted more and more to become leaders, innovators, and pioneers. This is not possible without top-level education. Tallinn University of Technology has grown and offers much more today than simply technical education. But I feel that the university's motto has remained the same, to provide for the Estonian state's lifeline. We know what the issue is that we are faced with. If only there were enough people, there could never be enough highly educated technical specialists. Therefore, it is our joint goal to ensure that there are enough engineers and other specialists, as well as lecturers, to teach them. Congratulations, Tallinn University of Technology. May you always have enough people, ideas and inspiration.
Aitäh presidendile. Palume kõnepulti Eesti Kunstiakadeemia rektor professor Mart Kalm.
To Professor Mart Kalm, Rector of Estonian Academy of Art.
Lugupeetud kohalviibijad,
dear guests,
ja tipikad.
Dear people of
võõm
Tallinn University of Technology.
Et rauakool ei ole roostes.
Today I'm glad to see that the iron school is not rusty, although I feel some cracking of sand now.
Meie jaoks olete tipikad ei ole ju paha. Selles mõttes, et see on nii juurdunud ja see on nii hea kõlaga välja.
Back in the day, we used to call people of Tallinn University of Technology tipikad. This is such a catchy phrase. With the name of the university having changed, it is difficult to find a good way of referring to people of here, of this university. Back when we called the university tipi,
on ju ka see kena tipu konnotatsioon olemas ja kellele ei meeldiks siis tipus olla.
Would understand this name as tipi, also meaning the top in Estonia in language. We wanted to change the name of the university because we did not like this Soviet period name of the institution. But the Polytechnical Institute, as it used to be called, there was nothing wrong with it. It was in Paris during the French Revolution when the École Polytechnique was founded. After that, during the 19th century, more technological universities were founded across Europe.
tulenevad lühendid
Mostly they were referred to as technical universities rather than polytechnical, which is a Greek origin word.
välja tuli ja inglise keeles briti inglise keeles ju on see
In British English,
poliks kutsutakse ju neid tehnilisi
yes, we can refer to polytechnical schools as polytechnicums,
enamasti ära öeldud
but
Malti.
in English we can also refer to them as multi instead of poly. We don't use the Greek stem. There are a lot of people who have also amongst us who have also studied in Riga Technical University, and these universities are comparable, we could say.
jah, ma saan aru, et see
Yes.
rauakooliga hästi sobitub Roostes.
I called you an iron school, and this relates to Rust, but now you have such good social scientists and IT specialists, so maybe it's not right for me to talk about iron.
Selles mõttes, et
But you still are a school of iron.
Kavandatud on see suur metallist abstraktne skulptuur
We have a large abstract metal figure, a sculpture outside of your building. Of course, this is not rusty either. It is made of steel. It depicts students, but it looks more like a turbine.
Sümbol sellest 1969. aastast, kui
or even a cog. And it has been a symbol of this university ever since the main building got this sculpture here in 1968. Next to this, we also have this Disney-style bronze figure, but the main thing is the large metal cog.
Rauakooli nimes ei ole mitte midagi halba.
There is nothing wrong with calling you a school of iron.
Siis, enne kui te siia oma kampusesse tulite, enne kui te olite
before you came to this campus,
Koplis, seal vanas Balti
back when your school was located in the north of Tallinn in Kopli,
Pikal tänaval
and
Kanutikildi hoones.
was the technical college. Before that, you were also in the old town of Tallinn, in Kanuti Guild buildings, in the big street, which was the very heart of Tallinn. It was later that other streets took over as being the heart of Tallinn. You founded the school in 1918, and you have been very brave in all these discussions whether Estonia is big enough to have a technical university. Furthermore, those specialists of technology that had studied in Paris, in St. Petersburg and elsewhere came back and felt perhaps threatened by those trained at home. It was a big victory for you to survive in this context. You started in 1918, and this is remarkable. This is the same year as the founding of the Estonian state. Of course, no universities can go against the University of Tartu. Even during the Russian Empire in 1914, the predecessor of the Estonian Academy of Art had been founded. So I must mention that this happened earlier. But it was a time for new higher education institutions. We had the Academy of Music that was founded, the Pedagogical University that has now grown into Tallinn University. And well, it took time until the collective farms of the Soviet period also started to need specialists. And that's why the Academy of Life Sciences, University of Life Sciences in Tartu was founded. We have 6 universities in total now. And on behalf of all of these, I would like to congratulate the Tallinn University of Technology on your 105th anniversary. Good luck!
Aitäh, professor Mart Kalm.
Thank you, Professor Mart Kalm. Today's first musical intervention comes from the University of Technology Academic Male Choir, conducted by Valter Soosalu. The floor is yours.
Aitäh Tehnikaülikooli akadeemilisele meeskoorile ja dirigent
Thank you
Valter
to the
Soosalule.
Academic Male Choir and the
Tehnikaülikooli
conductor Valter
105.
Soosalu.
aastapäeva kõne peab
Now, I'd
Tarkvarateaduse
like to give the
Instituudi
floor
professor
to Professor
Tammet.
Tanel Tammet from the Department of Software Science.
Lugupeetud rektorid, head kolleegid,
Honorable rectors, dear colleagues, dear guests, dear students.
aastapäev on sobiv hetk ajas rändamiseks ja sellepärast
The anniversary of the university is a good moment for time traveling. Therefore, in today's presentation, I will try to predict where we are headed and what could happen in the world of technology in the coming 5 or 10 years. In the past year, artificial intelligence has broken out from science fiction films and is now out in the world, and it's not impossible that this will be the engine that will create breakthroughs for our economy, research and the society. But since it's difficult to predict future, I will start from the past. The history of the University of Technology began in 1918 in the Luther plywood factory's lower ground floor, where special technical courses were given. This was also the year that the First World War ended, large empires fell, and Estonian Republic became independent. This was a special time because the old world had started to collapse and it was time to build a new one. What was going on in the world of technology at that point? When German army entered Estonia that year, horses were their main means of transport. This was the year when the First World War ended. And there were more and more new things that started to appear in streets and in homes. 5 years before that, Henry Ford had started the first production line for making cars. Radio lamps, helicopters, colored pictures and films with sound had just been invented. It was possible to talk across the ocean using a radio receiver, and Karel Čapek, for his science fiction story, invented the word robot, although there were no programmable computers back then. Let's jump ahead 50 years to the year 1968. This same building, the main building, had just been constructed, and it was the same year that Engelbert was demonstrating the first prototype of the current computer user interface in San Francisco. This included text redactor, shared files, remote work, and computer mouse. A few years before that, industrial robots became used, the laser was invented, and the first computer games were made. The University of Technology had just got its first computer from Belarus, Minsk 22E. The first communication satellites were sent to space. Internet was born and GPS was used for the first time. The following year, the Unix first version was developed. This is a computer operation system whose newer versions are used by all mobile phones today, and people landed on the moon. Let us jump another 50 years ahead. The Republic of Estonia has been restored 30 years ago. We are in the same main building, and we are using the newer versions of this same operation system. For 50 years, nobody has landed on the moon. Technology and the economy are, of course, developing, but this is happening quantitatively without any larger qualitative jumps. It is a paradox that infotechnology has not made global economy more effective in the past century. Here you can see the long-term real global GDP growth. Of course, the economy is growing, but it's growing more slowly than before. And the same is the situation with productivity of work. Computers will definitely help to make work more efficient in sectors where we are able to automate. But unfortunately, it seems that we can only automate simpler parts of work, and most of these have already been automated. The continued progress is slower, more costly, and more complicated. Infotechnology also has a clear negative impact. Software allows to centralize economy. Google, Facebook, Amazon, and our own Bolt are monopolizing large sectors of economy, reducing competition and hindering innovation. In this trap of slower and slower growth, the current hopes are on artificial intelligence, but building artificial intelligence successfully is a hope that we will be able to put it in practice and hopefully automate more and more work processes and business sectors, and therefore increase productivity of work. But it remains a question whether we will be able to develop artificial intelligence and use it efficiently. We are now in the third growth phase of artificial intelligence. The first two culminated at the end of 60s and 80s, respectively, with optimistic promises of imminent, powerful artificial intelligence. But the reality was very different. There was a reduction of funding and popularity of the sector, and this brought about the winter of artificial intelligence. Maybe this time we will do better. The enthusiasm of artificial intelligence seems naive when you look back. It promised that easy tasks would be solved in a couple of years, but these were small gamified tasks. Yes, these were solved, but it was not enough. The 1968 film Space Odyssey 2001 promised real intelligence robot HAL 9000 by the turn of the previous century. In 1970, Marvin Minsky, the classic of artificial intelligence, said to the Life magazine that in 3 to 8 years we would create machines whose intellect equals an average person's intellect. In the 80s, there was new hope that practical tasks such as medical diagnosis could be solved with large rule systems. But it was not possible to make these systems adequate and usable. Even formalizing the knowledge and skills of specialists became impossibly complicated. We are now in the third wave. And the basic idea of neural networks-based machine learning algorithms is quite old. But in the 60s and 70s, it was still very limited how much machines were able to learn. In the first years of machine learning, the first success of machine learning came about 10 years ago, when it was possible to start recognizing objects from images. This was largely thanks to the availability of learning material from the internet in the form of pictures and texts. You might wonder if a neural network structure and principles are similar to human brain. Yes, partly they are. Our brain parts that are responsible for image recognition are similar to neural networks. On the other hand, it's hard to understand what neurons are because we don't understand how brain actually works. Every new development in neural science gives us new mysteries. For example, we don't know what are the mechanisms of memory coding or functioning. We have discovered that every neuron contains thousands of learning components, and neurons interact through electric signals, chemicals, but also through RNA that carries genetic information. The strong powers of ChatGPT and other large language models, as well as their associated weaknesses, have made this field very hard to predict. It's impossible to say what is possible in 5 years or in 10. 10 years ago, Google had prepared a fully self-driving car prototype, and 5 years ago, Google started testing self-driving taxis. At the same time, Elon Musk promised that Teslas would take over streets in their fully automatic driving. But it's clear by now that we cannot expect to switch to fully self-driving cars at large scale within the next 10 years. It's much more complicated than it first seemed. For instance, because image recognition makes fundamental mistakes, such as thinking that a dark patch on asphalt is a standing object. Even if this happens rarely, it caused sudden braking and it would cause collisions. Therefore, it has now been decided that if an object is detected on the road, there is no braking. The current image recognition systems are also not good enough in the darkness, in rain, in snow. There are also other difficult situations, such as redirected traffic, and it would take much more understanding by artificial intelligence that it is currently capable of. On the other hand, only 5 years ago, very few specialists believed that ChatGPT-type systems would be able to understand human language as well and answer questions as well as it is now possible. This task ended up being simpler than we imagined. So what can I predict regarding the future? I would say that neither positive or negative extreme scenarios will come true. Artificial intelligence is not a supernatural creature. It would be silly to go along with the cargo cult artificial intelligence, close down universities and preach to large companies, expecting that they would start throwing down food to us without us needing to know anything or do any work. But it would be as silly to go along with the scary scenarios of artificial intelligence killing us all or making people useless or taking everyone's jobs. Regardless of all the steps made, we are far from fully self-driving cars, not to mention everything else. I predict that the importance of technological skills and creativity will grow in the future from the perspective of the university. Therefore, broad-scale university education will no longer be enough. We are expected to offer high-level real skills to students. Another question is how to best use artificial intelligence, automation, work processes in the future. Therefore, our students simply need to test and see what works better. Our task in this world is to automate and to transfer to the next technological phase. We cannot do it centrally. For instance, expecting OpenAI or Google producing robot engineers and robot business managers. ChatGPT type systems are very capable at processing text, at translating and providing summaries, as well as at answering basic questions. They can use a number of existing software examples in order to develop small-scale programs which respond to a description given by a human. However, they do not contain a model of the world that people and even most animals have. On one hand, they can write a difficult philosophical text, but when it comes to navigating in a room, they are less intelligent than a fly. It is also difficult for them to understand the difference between what is real and what is imaginary. The system claims something that it has created itself. On the practical level, the use of large language models is limited because of the level of complexity of adding new operations. ChatGPT type systems cannot simply be fed a large number or amount of facts, knowledge, definition, and vocabulary and expect that they can use it without special training. They are also not able to use existing tools such as software systems that are used in an organization. In the world of artificial intelligence, there is hard work in order to reduce issues of new learning. For instance, we need to ask ourselves, shouldn't we use large language models in order to improve the coping of self-driving cars in unexpected situations? We cannot say what kind of problems that large language models have will be solved in the future and which will remain unavoidable. But this will affect the possibilities of application and integration with other software systems. It is very likely that every sector and organization will start automating their processes based on the widely available basic technology. And this will be led by a top specialist of a sector. Therefore, the need for human competence will not decrease, instead it will increase. AI technologies will promote our own skills and work considerably. Finally, I believe that what future brings depends on our university as well as the state and government. Mente et Manu.
Aitäh, professor Tanel Tammet. Nagu te olete võib-olla märganud, on siin aulas end üles seadnud ka suurepärane orkester. See on Tallinna Tehnikaülikooli puhkpilliorkester, kes esitab teile Raimond Kulli muusikateose Tarantella, mille on arranžeerinud Peeter Saan,
conducted by Tarmo Kivisilla.
Aitäh puhkpilliorkestrile ja
Thank
dirigent
you
Tarmo
to the wind
Kivisillale.
orchestra and to the
Daamid ja
conductor
härrad,
Tarmo
oleme
Kivisilla.
jõudnud audoktori
Ladies and
promoveerimiseni.
gentlemen, it is time
Mõne
for the
sõnaga
promotion
audoktori
of our
nimetusest.
honorary doctor.
Ülikooli
A few
audoktori
words about
tiitel
this title.
antakse
The university
teenekale
honorary
ja
doctor title
rahvusvaheliselt
is
tunnustatud
awarded to
teadlasele,
a deserving
ühiskonna
and
või
internationally
kultuuritegelasele,
known
kes on aidanud kaasa
researcher
ülikooli
or
ja Eesti Vabariigi
societal or
autoriteedi
cultural
suurendamisele
actor who
ning
has
maailmas
helped to
sidemete
promote the
arendamisele.
university and
Audoktori
the
tutvustamiseks
Republic of
kutsume
Estonia
lavale
and
promootori,
connecting
inseneriteaduskonna
making
dekaani
connections.
professor Fjodor
I'd like to
Sergejevi.
give the floor to Fyodor Sergejev from the Dean of the Engineering Department for promoting the honorary doctor.
Austatud rektorid,
Honorable rectors, rectors emerita, dear university family, dear guests.
mul on au esitada
It is my honor
Ülikooli senati poolt jooksva aasta
to
juunis
present the
audoktori nimetusega
University
tunnustatud professori
Senate's
Helmut Pichli.
recommendation for Professor Helmut Pichel
on
for
rahvusvaheliselt tuntud
honorary
teadlane,
doctor.
kes on kogu
Helmut
oma
Pichel
akadeemilise
is an
karjääri
internationally
vältel
known
panustanud
researcher
Tallinna Tehnikaülikooli
who has contributed for his
kompetentsi ja
entire
rahvusvahelise nähtavuse
career
tõstmisele,
to
eriti
increasing the
elektroenergeetika
visibility
valdkonnas.
of University of Technology, especially in electromagnetism sector. Thanks to Helmut Pichel, in 2010, Rector Peep Süürias and Kempten University of Applied Sciences Rector started together a joint doctoral program. This program gave the opportunity for the best graduates of Kempten University to continue their doctoral studies in Tallinn. This provided possibility for interdisciplinary cooperation through different international projects, and many young scientists from the University of Technology of Tallinn have participated. More than 15 researchers, PhD students and master students got the possibility to use the Bayer State Vilport State Village Energy Campus.
Senise ühise doktoriõppeprogrammi raames on
The
kaitsnud 3 doktoranti
doctoral program has concluded for 3 PhD students and 4 other are expected to graduate this year.
30 ühist teadusartiklit
Nearly 30 joint papers have been published in internationally recognized peer-reviewed scientific journals. This long-term cooperation with Kempten University in Germany, which dates back to as early as late 80s, was begun further promoted by Helmut Pichel when the master studies joint contract was signed. In the past 10 years, Professor Pichel has helped to organize seminars and trainings for doctoral students in both Germany and in Estonia. Professor Helmut Pichel has been active as well in various papers, conference presentations, in reviewing peer-reviewed papers. He has also taken part in Institute of Electronics conferences, in science committees, and he has contributed
energia- ja
towards
geotehnoloogia doktorikoolide
the geotechnology doctoral
kõigele
schools
lisaks on ta tänu
being
oma
arranged
tugevale
in Tallinn University of
erasektori
Technology.
taustale olnud
Thanks to his background in the private sector, he has also been an expert consultant,
seotud Tallinna
and
Tehnikaülikooli
he has been part of different
tema
theses
senine teadustööalane koostöö
from the University of Technology of Tallinn. His research work has been highly awarded in Germany as well as in Estonia, for example, in the Novator program. Honorable Professor Helmut Pichel, it is our immense honor that the University of Technology of Tallinn has become so important for you in your heart. With this honorary doctor title, we would like to express our gratitude for this dedication, and we hope that in the future you will also be motivated to join in and act along with the University of Technology in Tallinn. Please join us on the floor on the stage to receive the title.
Palume lavale rektor Tiit Land.
Rector Tiit Land and Helmut Pichel, please join us on the stage.
Respected Rector, dear Vice Rectors and Deans, dear attendees. Today is an outstanding day for me. The award of an honorary doctorate by Tallinn University of Technology means an extraordinarily great honor for me, and certainly it is the highlight of my academic work. I was very happy when Professor Argo Rosin let me know about the decision taken at the Senate meeting of Tallinn University of Technology in June of this year. I have had a very successful 15-year scientific collaboration with Professor Rosin and decades of valuable friendship that I would not want to miss anymore. After all, it is precisely these friendships in the academic field that make close scientific cooperation a joy and thus make it successful. Whenever we met, in Tallinn or in Kempten, and that was the case several times a year, but also when we regularly and often spontaneously and late in the evening discussed via Skype how to proceed with projects and doctoral theses, I was always personally very pleased. Respected Rector, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to briefly outline the history of academic cooperation between Tallinn University of Technology and Kempten University of Applied Sciences in Germany. You will see that it goes very far back and has never been interrupted since then. It all began in 1989 at a conference in Hamburg when Professor Laugis from Tallinn University of Technology and Professor Scherz, Vice Rector of the University of Applied Sciences Kempten, met and discussed initial cooperation opportunities. In the same year, Professor Ott, Rector of the Kempten University of Applied Sciences at that time, visited Tallinn to manifest a future cooperation between the two universities. A year later, in 1990, Professor Laugis came to Kempten in return. In 1991, the new Dean of the Electrical Engineering Faculty at Kempten University of Applied Sciences and Director of the Laboratory for Electrical Drives and Automation Technology, Professor Steinbrunn, came to Tallinn. He was the key force in the connection with Professor Laugis and Professor Ristein. The three of them together brought the university cooperation to life. This concerns a lively student exchange and the first joint projects. Unfortunately, I cannot name all of them now due to time constraints, but there were also visiting professorships, conference contributions, and European Union research projects. Professor Laugis played an essential role in establishing a cooperative PhD program between our universities. Due to his significant merits, he was appointed honorary senator at our university in the year 2010. After my work at Siemens and E.ON, I was appointed professor at the Kempten University of Applied Sciences at the end of 1994 in the field of electrical power engineering. I received my doctorate in 1989, almost 35 years ago, at the Technical University of Munich at the Institute for Electrical Machines and Devices, where I was a research assistant for 4 years. It was a stroke of luck for me that Professor Steinbrunn allowed me to participate in all activities in his laboratory and also in the cooperation with Tallinn University of Technology right from the start. By the way, Professor Steinbrunn was awarded as well with Dr. Honoris Causa of Tallinn University of Technology in the year 2003, exactly 20 years ago. And I'm happy that he could make it to be here today. From the beginning, we were on the same wavelength, even if our professional focus was slightly different. Professor Steinbrunn retired in 2011, 12 years ago, but we are still in close contact and friends. He was always a very helpful colleague and to a certain extent also my mentor. Without him and his important preparatory work, this lively research cooperation with Tallinn University of Technology, which I took over completely about 15 years ago, would not have been so successful. I founded the Research Institute for Electrical Power Systems at the Kempten University of Applied Sciences 12 years ago, and in consortia with Siemens, the RWTH Aachen, the Fraunhofer Institute, and the regional energy supplier Algonetz, I worked on a large number of funded big research projects in which several doctoral students were involved. From my point of view, these projects were very successful. They are all related to the electric power supply of the future with new concepts and renewable energy sources, as well as battery storage systems in so-called microgrids. At this point, it is of particular importance to mention serious scientific involvement of Tallinn University of Technology in all projects right from the beginning. I would like to mention Professor Tönu Lehtla here, who has provided important contributions and impulses. But to a very special extent, my colleague and friend, Professor Ago Rosin. His scientific involvement in all projects has been notable. And we are talking about a total project budget of approximately 10 million euro. We are regularly discussing all the details of the project goals, the execution, and the scientific work. A total of 4 doctoral theses were created at Tallinn University of Technology, and more than 30 scientific papers were published. Allow me to say that I can hardly imagine better scientific cooperation between universities from different countries, which has now existed for almost 35 years. I'm very grateful for the opportunities that have opened for the 2 universities, for the respective faculties, for science, but also for me personally. As long as I stay healthy, I would like to make contributions for many years to come, and wherever I can, support Tallinn University of Technology. But I would also like to give a positive impulse to the younger, growing students and scientists. Continue what has already been started. Have new ideas and develop further scientific cooperation across national borders should you ever get into the appropriate position. It is worthwhile in several ways, and it also gives great pleasure. Respected Rector, ladies and gentlemen, you have certainly noticed the enthusiasm with which I am talking about this topic. However, I do not want to demand your patience any further, although there would be still a lot to say, but the advanced time does not permit it now. Thank you so much for allowing me to give this short speech here at the 105th anniversary academic celebration of Tallinn University of Technology. I am very proud of it. And my sincere thanks for the high award I received from this honorable university. In particular, I would like to thank the Rector, Professor Land, the Dean, Professor Sergeyev, and the Director, Professor Palu. Tänan teid väga.
Thank you, Professor Helmut Pihl. Daamid ja härrad, oleme jõudnud teenete medali Mente et Manu laureaatide väljakuulutamisele. Palume medali üleandmiseks lavale rektor professor Tiit Land ja teadusprorektor professor Tiit Lukk.
For the awarding, I would like to ask Rector Professor Tiit Land and Vice Rector for Research Professor Tiit Lukk to join me on the stage.
Medal antakse tänavu 9 silmapaistvale inimesele,
The medal will be awarded to 9 remarkable persons who have considerably affected the development of the university, higher education or research. TalTech's 144th medal, Mente et Manu, is awarded to the long-term assistant to the rector and rectorate, University Senate, Council and International Council, Secretary Paula Petrina Ahonen-Rumm.
ülikooli 145. teenete medali,
The 145th Service Medal of the University Mente at Manu is awarded to the spokesperson of Marine Science and Marine Education, long-term Estonian Marine Academy Council member and long-term lecturer Vahur Ausmees.
Tallinna Tehnikaülikooli
The University of Technology 146th Service Medal Mente at Manu is awarded to a long-term Dean of Natural Sciences, researcher and
orgaanilise keemia professor Tõnis Kanger.
Organic chemistry professor Tõnis Kanger.
TalTechi
TalTech's 147th Service Medal Mente at Manu is awarded to a remarkable expert of economics, physicist, top manager and leader of the University Development Council and Alumni Association, Robert Tiit.
The
University's 148th Service Medal Mente at Manu is awarded to the internationally recognized computer scientist, head of the Biorobotics Center, European Commission's head research advisor, Nortech's president, and former vice rector for research, a member of the Academy of Sciences, Maarja Kruusmaa, who is not here today. The University's 149th Service Medal Mente at Manu is awarded to a long-term Tallinn University of Technology dance group Kuljus artistic leader Marina Kuznetsova.
TalTech's
150th Service Medal Mente at Manu is awarded to a remarkable construction and architecture researcher, leader of research group and lecturer Professor Irene Lill.
Tallinna Tehnikaülikooli 151.
Tallinn University of Technology's 151st Service Medal Mente and Manu is awarded to a long-term Dean of the Department of Economics, remarkable economics researcher and lecturer, member of the board of the Estonian Bank, Professor Enn Listra. The university's 152nd Service Medal Mente et Manu is awarded to a remarkable developer and promoter of infotechnology sector and learning development, senior lecturer Gunnar Piho. This concludes the awarding of service medals for this time. Thank you to Vice Rector for Research and congratulations to all the laureates. We shall now continue with the promotion of doctors, and I'd like to ask Professor Gert Jerevan, Dean of the IT Department, to promote IT doctors. Tallinn University of Technology promotes infotechnology department's PhDs. Ardo Allik. Hippkõiv. Hippkõiv. Rosa Kliva.
Tiago Diadami Perez. Roja Kamal Ahmed. Cesar Giovanni Chavez Arroyave. Kaur Kullmann. Kaida
Kaeval.
Taavi Laadung.
Taavi Laadung.
Kaiser Pärnamets.
Kaiser Pärnamets.
Malik Imran.
Malik Imran.
Silvia Lips.
Silvia Lips.
Ja Vyacheslav Škiparev.
And Vyacheslav Škiparev.
Aitäh professor Gert Järvanile.
Thank you, Professor Gert Järvan.
Inseneriteaduskonna
Now,
dekaan professor Fjodor Sergejev.
Professor Fyodor Sergejev, Dean of the Engineering Department, please join me on the stage. Tallinn University of Technology promotes doctors of the Engineering Department Kalm Ullah.
Varsa
Mozafari. Sefer Mozafari. Fateme Najafzadeh. Katrin Kaur. Zhengyun Chen. Andreas Christian Armstorfer. Alexei Paneshko. Rahul Kumar. Tegu Putranto. Ekaterina Sidorenko. Marko Tealane.
Kaidi Nõmmela.
Kaidi Nõmmela.
Ekaterina Andriuščenko.
Ekaterina Andriuščenko.
Abulkasim Ahmed Ali Baker.
Abulkasim Ahmed Ali Baker.
Vadim Sidorov.
Vadim Sidorov.
Hadi Ashraf.
Hadi Ashraf Raja. Johanna Liblik.
Nele Mandre.
Nele Mandre.
Ja Sander Varbla.
And Sander Varbla.
Aitäh, professor Fjodor.
Thank you, Professor Fyodor Sergeyev. I would like to give the floor to Professor Andrus Salupere, Dean of the Department of Natural Sciences, to promote doctors. Tallinn University of Technology promotes doctors of the Natural Sciences Department, Jelena Branovets.
Mahboob Alam.
Mahboob Alam.
Anni Kooli.
Anni Kooli.
Laur Peedu.
Laur Peedu.
Georg Arju.
Georg Arju.
Mari-Liis Kõuts.
Mari-Liis Kõuts. Grete Raba.
Marina Lazuska.
Marina Lazuska.
Robert Rist.
Robert Rist.
Matt Rammo.
Matt Rammo.
Alex Sirp.
Alex Sirp. Egle Rebane Klemm. Grigori Vassiljev.
Eli-Eelika Esvald.
Eli-Eelika Esvald.
Aitäh, professor.
Thank you, Professor Andrus Salupere. To promote doctors of the Department of Economics, please join me on the floor, Dean of the Department of Economics, Maria Varma. Tallinn University of Technology promotes doctors of the Department of Economics, Jobit Shakia. Ekaterina Korolova.
Nicolas Andreas Raigl.
Nicolas Andreas Regel. Mari-Liis Kukk.
Jaanus Müür.
Jaanus Müür. Triinu Tapper. Nagme Nikpakš. Christopher Paul Meyer. Pavlo Ilyashenko. Kati Keel. And Georgi Hreno.
Head külalised, nüüd on
Dear attendees, now all 58 graduates of PhD studies have received their diploma. Congratulations to the new doctors. Thank you to the rector and the deans. On behalf of the new doctors, Dr. Kati Keel will speak. Honorable rectors, dear university family, dear friends, dear guests. Congratulations to everyone on the 105th anniversary of Tallinn University of Technology. It is a great pleasure and joy for me to stand here before you today. Just like all of us freshly promoted doctors were to receive our diplomas here on the stage today. And rightfully so. It is such a substantial and symbolic end to a very hard work. But this is not the end, but it's only the beginning, and we all know that. It is said that if you want to go fast, you should go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And none of us would be here today had we not had this supporting team around us. So I would like to start with the most important and thank those who have made this journey possible for us. Thank you to all the supervisors. Thank you not only for sharing your knowledge with us, but also for giving us what's most valuable, your time, for having strength to encourage us, to push us, to motivate us, even when things got hard. Doctoral studies are a period of that is long enough for a young researcher to mean that we are not only learning from skills and knowledge from you, but we see you as role models. Thank you, dear families and dear friends. The support network that you have provided has been invaluable. Thank you for sometimes asking how things were going with our work. And thank you for the moments when you did not ask, because you just knew that we would get there. Or you knew that it was a bit difficult for us and you left us to work. Thank you to the University of Technology for this environment that you have created here. I started my journey at TalTech in 2008. The university has developed so much in this time, and I'm glad to see that. I have been away, but always come back. But just like in every organization, you know that there is no building, no lab or classroom that makes the university what we all value the most. Of course, these are also necessary, but first and foremost, it is the people between these walls who are important. Thank you for working hard every day and worrying to make sure that there are more and more students on this stage every year, that we come here smarter and better than ever before. There was a very short period between my PhD defense and today, and perhaps this is why these emotions are still quite fresh. On one hand, there is the immense relief that I finally did it. All these congratulations, all the shared joy. But in these past few weeks, I have also heard words that have started to haunt me. Had more time passed, maybe I would not address this, but I've heard the word overqualified. It has been said to me through humor, just like that. It hasn't been something to criticize me. It has been a sincere emotion, part of congratulations. But it has not happened once or twice, but perhaps 5 or 6 times. So it makes me wonder, why use this word? Of course, it's a bit difficult to talk to you about this. I can't imagine anyone at the university saying to a young researcher that there is nothing to do with you, you are overqualified. But stepping outside of these doors, unfortunately, this does happen. And regardless of how much this has been addressed here on the same stage and elsewhere, and regardless of the fact that we are far beyond the walls of the university, we are in industry, we are in our job positions, I have wondered where this comes from. I am a civil servant. I don't work at the universities. So perhaps outside of the university, doctoral degree is still somehow mystified, somehow unusual. But it does not matter what the reasons are. It is clear that we must address this question. And no one else but each and every one of us should work towards making sure that we will never hear again that curious, analytically thinking, strongly disciplined, entrepreneurial, ambitious people who value teamwork are somehow overqualified. What are the norms then, is my question. For different reasons, in the past months I have read a lot about research communication. This is not something new for any of us, but something that we should sometimes go back to. Most of us have connected our further career with the university and academic career, and this is the right thing to do. If not with Tallinn University of Technology, then elsewhere. But there are also those amongst us, myself included, whose contribution is realized somewhere else, whether it is in entrepreneurship, public service, or the civil society. Regardless how our journey continues, we give our best in order to be visible. We are in changing times. We are in the middle of a green transition, digital transition. We talk about new economic models, new business models. It is up to us to make sure that what is decided at the societal level, where money is directed, which goals are taken in entrepreneurship, that all of this is science-based. Let us intervene then if we feel that there is something that needs to be addressed in the society, even if no one asks. But let's do it in a simple and understandable way to make sure it has an impact. It is not enough for us to know that our research is of high level. Of course, it is like that at the University of Technology, but the public needs to know that and believe it. But today, let us celebrate, let us be proud, and let us be grateful to those who have supported us on this journey. Thank you, and I wish you strength, resilience, and high achievements for the future.
Aitäh, Kati!
Oleme
täna eraldi kuulnud nii Tehnikaülikooli akadeemilist meeskoori kui puhkpilliorkestrit. Kuid nüüd ühendavad nad väed ja astuvad teie ette üheskoos. Palun!
rünnaku hoos, Annel ja Meri siin sülitsi koos, kivine kallas rind tuultele valla, rahve ja rähkasid virutab alla. Muudaga vastasel haarates jalust, murevad järavad kalla alust, seiske ei edasi saa, ei kumbki edasi saa, võimas on meri, veel võimsam on maa. Rannikul hüppel rünnaku hoos, Annel ja Meri siin sülitsi koos, kivine kallas rind tuultele valla, rahve ja rähkasid virutab alla. Muudaga vastasel haarates jalust, purevad järavad kalla alust, purevad järavad, purevad järavad, järavad, purevad järavad, purevad. Seiske ei edasi saa, ei kumbki edasi saa, võimas on meri, veel võimsam on maa.
aitäh akadeemilisele meeskoorile, puhkpilliorkestrile ja dirigent Valter Soosalule.
Choir, the wind orchestra and the conductor Valter Soosalu. Now it is time to announce the alumnus of the year of the University of Technology. For this I want to give the floor to
Manu tänavusele laureaadile Robert
board, chairman of the board of the Alumni Association and laureate of the Mente Manu medal, Robert Tiit.
Austatud rektor,
Honorable Rector, Honorable Rectors, dear attendees, the statute of the Alumnus of the Year states that the Alumnus of the Year award is given to the person whose activities have substantially promoted the Estonian society in culture, education, or technology. The title has been awarded for a long time, and you will find the names of former alumni of the year in the corridor. But in the past, most alumni of the year have come from the Department of Economics. Although economics are not doing well in the world at the moment, we must remember that what got us here will not necessarily take us further. So the title of the Alumnus of the Year is not given if you are only active in one sector. You must work in different sectors. The Alumnus of the Year 2023 is a good example of how an active person can do a lot. Their contribution has served as inspiration and role model in a number of sectors, whether it be IT, education, popularization of engineering among girls, startups, or fundraising programs. Kristel Kruustükk is the Alumnus of the Year 2023. Wow, I'm so happy. When Robert called me a few weeks ago, I was driving my car. I had just taken my children to a kindergarten. These past months have been difficult for me emotionally, and throughout life I've understood that difficult times often teach us more about life than what we can expect and more than we can value. I have become Alumnus of the Year, and this knowledge brought me to this moment. I realized that for a long time I had been living in the future, thinking about future goals, things I did not have yet. And that moment reminded me that I should be grateful for these moments, these people who are here today. I am just so grateful. This title reminds me that what I'm doing matters. Sometimes I forget it, and therefore I'm grateful to all of you. I'm grateful to the IT college, to the Tallinn University of Technology. 11, 12, no, how many years ago? In 2011, I graduated from the IT college, so that's 12 years ago, and it's been a wonderful journey. It's been a difficult one as well, but all these difficulties, these emotions that we go through, they are something that we must enjoy and be grateful for. Thank you, everyone, and that's all from me. I'm out.
Aitäh Robert Kittile ja
Thank you,
palju õnne
Robert
aasta
Kitt,
vilistlusele.
and congratulations to the alumnus of the year. Dear guests, the gathering will conclude with the singing of Gaudeamus, with taking out the flags, and we ask you to leave the hall after the flags.